Attention bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn. So please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen!
Welcome back, Matterhorn Yodelers. I am your host, Japheth, and I am here with
Jackie
and
Peter.
long pauses right now.
Yes, long
Some
pauses
suspense.
today. Yes.
dramatic.
So it is springtime, right?
Depending on where you live, sure.
Yeah, it's true. We're global, but it is springtime here, and you know what? It's time to bust out those brooms and start cleaning out. And we are going to see which attractions we can clean out of our attraction at Disney's California Adventure.
Wait, is this a repeat offender?
It is.
Yeah, of course. This is fun.
It was a fun one
Yeah.
trying to get rid of an attraction. And we were at Disney World last time, and we got rid of
Country
Country
Bear.
Country Bear Jamboree, and that was the one I defended, and I axed it. I axed it myself.
You axed your own thing.
So if you like this podcast, then you should go back and check out that one, because that one, oh, spoiler, we ruined that one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We just ruined
Oh
it.
no. Okay, so we are at California Adventure, and we are going to defend 3 attractions, and then we'll all vote for which attraction we should get rid of. You can get rid of your own, or you can get rid of somebody else's. But we, during this podcast, are going to try to compel each other that our attraction should stay, and the listeners. And so please put your input on which one do you think should go.
And
All right.
I like the timeliness of it, because California Adventure did hit its 20th anniversary this year.
It
So it's a
did.
very timely discussion to clean house again, because
Yeah, how many?
Which revamp is this
I
one?
don't know if this will be the 4th or 5th.
Does it even have anything related to California anymore?
Most of that's gone. Yeah, we'll see what happens if they decide to change the name or not.
That's
always,
true.
That's always been up for discussion.
Yeah.
That one and Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida.
Oh, yeah. There was a huge rumor of that when I was at Disney World, that it was going to happen soon, and a lot of people bought a bunch of Hollywood Studios merch.
Suckers!
Strategic from merchandise. Okay, so we're going to start off with Jackie, and your attraction is?
The Pal Around Wheel.
And what is that?
That is the Ferris wheel.
Okay, thank you.
On the
I was
boardwalk.
like, what's it called now?
It's the Ferris wheel. Everyone
The
knows. It's-
Pixar Pal Around.
Now, the Ferris wheel, the Pal Around Wheel, was not the original name. It's had 2 other names.
So it's already gone through some reskins here, huh?
Yeah, just a few.
Same product, different name.
So it opened February 8th, 2001, as the Sun Wheel. And
Very Disney.
Did it have Mickey on them?
No.
And when it first started,
It was just the sun.
it was
a
this giant
sun.
sun. Okay.
And
I'm
the
trying to remember.
sun was inspired, or the design of the Ferris wheel was inspired by a Mexican art in the 1970s. And I looked at it, and there's no sun on this art. So it was interesting. It was very interpretive.
It was inspired.
It was inspired by art that didn't have a sun.
They had similar colors.
Okay.
So, let's see here. And it was also, the Ferris wheel design was inspired after the Coney Island wheel.
I can see that.
Going for that sort of boardwalk
Boardwalk
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel vibe.
Man, who would have thought on a land
Yeah.
paradise pier? That's the direction they would go.
But then 2008 was when we had the first refurbishment. That's when they wanted to throw more Disney into the park. And they added a big face of Mickey Mouse in the middle.
I like it. I like the.
No,
big-
I love it.
I like the Mickey. I think it's funny that the fact that they put the sun on the roller coaster and the Mickey that was on the roller coaster on the
Oh,
Ferris
that's right.
wheel.
Mickey was on the roller coaster.
Uh-huh. So they just swapped the facade of that.
Yeah, and then they had Mickey's friends on each of the what are they called? Booths or
Okay.
yeah, booths. Why not?
Yeah.
And then so they added Mickey's face, and that kind of helped towards the overall design of the World of Color show.
Which is an excellent addition to the park.
That was probably the best addition to the park.
Yes.
World of Color. Yes.
My favorite one was when they had Tron incorporated in there,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you could see like they had the digital Tron going across the roller coaster, and I was like, this was amazing.
Oh yeah.
And then November 2nd, 2017, final refurb for now. And it is now for now. Who knows?
I like to keep things in fluidity when it comes to California
I was gonna
Adventure.
say, California Adventure, for the most part, is pretty easy to retheme.
But it is now the Pixar Pal Around, where you see it still has the Mickey on the Ferris wheel, but now on the little booths or ride vehicles, it is Pixar characters.
I was wondering if they were going to replace the Mickey with like a
Lots of the bear.
That
Yeah.
would be
no,
good.
with the
I smell like strawberries.
the Pixar ball. The Pixar ball.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I thought they would put on there.
I don't think they did because World of Color.
Yeah, it makes sense that they wouldn't do that because of World of Color.
And so I want to say, like, some of the positives with the Pal Around wheel, you know, it looks beautiful next to the Incredicoaster. The design of it has, like, two big, like, swoops, and then it looks like the roller coaster is built into the Ferris wheel when you're looking on the other side.
Okay.
So, design-wise to the eye, I think it's very well done.
Is it the highest attraction? Do you see the highest? Is it at the highest point in the park?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty... I think it is the tallest.
I don't think the Incredicoaster goes that high.
No, it doesn't.
So.
And so, with that being the background, you've got the beautiful World of Color show, which they incorporate the Incredicoaster and the Ferris wheel as part of the show, adding very fun lights on it, and it just makes it very immersive into the show. So that's a huge plus out of this attraction. And then, of course, there are two ways to ride this attraction.
Oh, tell us about these two ways and how much you love this.
So there's the
Personal
standard.
experience, which always gets done.
There's the standard. You sit in a booth. It goes around in circle. A little swing back and forth. And then there are the more extreme or more thrill ride. And they swing a lot more.
How much more?
Oh, that was a scary amount.
I've seen grown adults scream. Dad's got a video of Father Yoder's got one of a stranger so scared he grabs his leg or grabs our father's leg because he's so scared of the attraction.
There's nothing to hold on to in that
No.
They
thing.
stick you like what, 6 people into
Yeah,
it?
you can fit 6 people in it, and it's all caged off. It's not like you can stick your arms out or anything. It's all caged, and then there's no seatbelts.
No seatbelts, and there's nothing to hold on to. And then you get some people that get in there and try to swing it even more. They stand up trying to make it swing even more.
We're trying to do the loop-de-loop.
We're gonna flip it.
I've done both. I don't like either of them for my personal preference.
Have you guys ever had the thought when riding that ride or like an earthquake and then the Ferris wheel goes down into the water, and then you're stuck in the cage, and then you slowly drown.
Jeez.
I've had the horrible thought.
I-
I just want to know if I'm the only one that's had that thought.
I may have had that thought, but I know that it's actually not built over the water. It's actually kind of built into a hole.
Yeah,
So
but
if
I
it
thought,
does, it'll just like...
do you think
Yeah.
it'll like sit down and then like lean? Because I always felt like it's gonna go and like go face.
Oh, go face first into the... It could, I guess.
Okay.
Never thought about it that direction.
Well, now
No.
think about that when you're on there going, drown.
I trust Disney's engineering, and Ferris wheels have been around for a
If
while.
you trust Disney's engineering, please listen to our Disney lawsuit.
People versus Disney.
People versus Disney. Tell us if you trust us after that.
So yeah, we'll post some videos of some reactions.
Some of those experiences.
Yeah.
Is there any other positive things that you want to tell us about the Pal Around wheel?
I think it was a great way to involve it in the Pixar Pier theming, the changing it to just Pal Around. They didn't change too much other than the ride vehicles. And it is a great attraction to ride with family because, like we said before, you can fit 6 people.
It's true.
And it's a little bit longer attraction, so it's nice to sit down. There's a breeze coming in and out. Even if it's a hot day, there's still a breeze coming through because of the swaying and the motion of it. And it's great entertainment if someone's scared of heights.
It is entertaining to watch someone flip out. Because even if you're scared inside, thinking about an earthquake drowning you in this cage, seeing someone get really nervous as it swings back and forth is quite entertaining.
It can be. Enjoying people's fear is sometimes
I
enjoyable
enjoy misery.
personally.
Let me just take that all in. All right.
So that is the Pal Around wheel.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. Peter, what attraction are you defending today?
I have the incredible
Incredible Coaster.
No. Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. No.
That's
I
one
don't
of the
have-
best rides.
That is, my opinion, the best ride. No, I don't have that one. I have its brother attraction, Luigi's Rolican Roadsters. Okay? So this attraction, very similar to the Pal Around / Sun or Mickey Fun Wheel or whatever it's called these days, it's also been rethemed. It's not the original attraction that was built there. So when California Adventure went through its remodel, they opened a new land. They got rid of most of the farm themed land that didn't. You can take a picture in a tractor. That was the exciting thing of that land. They built a Cars land based off of the movie Cars, where you can go down Radiator Springs, where they have 3 attractions: Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, and the big attraction, I'm drawing a blank on it. Man, why am I blanking? The Radiator Springs Racers.
Yeah.
That's what it was called. And then they had Luigi's Flying Tires. A little bit of history on Luigi's Flying Tires. I won't go into too much detail because that's not what I'm defending. Because that's even harder to defend than what I'm defending. It's kind of like think of it as bumper cars, but you're like on an air hockey table.
I was thinking the same
Yes.
thing to describe it, so you did a good job.
It's a bumper cars on air hockey, where you're in this tire that, depending on what direction you lean, that's the direction you'll move. It had capacity issues. It kept breaking down. They had a lot of issues with the attraction. It's actually based off an old attraction in Disneyland. Before Space Mountain existed, there was these flying saucers where you'd sit in a very similar vehicle that were little flying saucers that you bump around each other before. And again, this is where Space Mountain is now.
I remember when we went to D23, it was like one of the first D23 conventions, and they announced that they were going to bring that attraction back at Radiator Springs, and everyone was so excited, and it's gone.
Well, the thing is, even then, that attraction had a lot of issues, and the issues continued on to the next generation of flying tires.
So no one read the after-action report of that.
Yeah, it was it was rough, and eventually they shut it down because I think they were having too many issues with the air system, and also people injuring themselves because guests can't read. Don't step on the tire because they would just They would fall down constantly. So that didn't make it into the law book. They didn't talk about California Adventure too much.
No, they hadn't. And I don't think when that book came out, was Radiator Springs?
No.
Because we went. And...
Well, no.
Yeah,
it was. It was.
Okay. It was relative.
But again, this was all about the Disneyland park, the Magic Kingdom. They didn't really talk about California Adventure.
No.
But yeah, a lot of issues there. So they decided to redesign it, and they reopened it in 2006 as Luigi's Rolican Roadsters.
2006 or 2016?
16, sorry.
Okay.
16.
Oh my goodness.
16, sorry. And this was Disneyland Resort's first trackless vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's their first trackless vehicle. Tokyo had their Winnie the Pooh ride. Disney World had Tower of Terror. Paris had Ratatouille.
Yes.
Hong Kong has Mystic Manor. So this was Disneyland Resort's first trackless vehicle.
So the Galaxy's Edge.
That was number 2.
That's number 2.
Yes.
Okay.
The new Star Wars ride, Rise of the Resistance attraction, is the second one for the Disneyland Resort. So technically the first one for Disneyland Park, but for the resort, it's the second.
Oh, okay.
So very great ride system because you can program it to do anything, right? So the theme for Luigi's Rolican Roadsters is as Luigi has invited his cousins from Carsoli, Italy to Radiator Springs for a dance festival in the tire yard behind his Casa della Tire shop. Guests ride in the car vehicles as they move and spin to Italian music. And so as you get onto the attraction, they play a variety of different Italian music, and each song has its own choreography. So no matter how many times you ride, you're most likely going to get a different ride experience.
Did it tell you how many combinations they have?
I don't have that number as to how many songs
Okay.
there are. I could have done more research and found that.
I was just curious if it had popped out in your research.
So they had that going. It doesn't have the greatest capacity, but the one thing that I think really gives it more excitement to it is it's enjoyable to not only ride, but it's also enjoyable to watch. You can stand by the sideline and see the cards, and you can see the whole choreography of the dance as these cars dance to the music. And they've got lots of fun Italian music like "Hey Mambo, Mambo Italia." That's the popular one.
That's a
It
good
is
one.
true. It's fun when you walk by and you're just dancing.
It gets you in the
It's
mood,
amazing.
like, oh, yeah.
It gets into the mood, like you really get into this dance festival that's going place. It's definitely a better theme than what they had before with the tires that really didn't have any story to it. It was like, go back in Luigi's tires and bounce around. That was pretty much the story. So
Yeah.
they improved on the story a whole lot. And it's really great. And this kind of goes to an argument for the entirety of Cars Land, the ability to walk into an iconic building from the movie. Everyone's seen the giant tower of leaning tires. the walking through the shop, you get to see the different tires on display, the different
It's a very
brands.
nice queue.
It is a great queue.
You feel like you're going to somewhere special with that.
Yeah. So like it's very well themed, and it's a great experience for all ages. There is a height limit, 32 inches, so not too small, but all the songs end with a spin, so you're at least guaranteed your car's spinning, which is everyone's favorite. They throw their hands up and the cars all spin in place. It's
You
it's
like
a
that?
hoot.
I know you like spinning
I
rides.
do love spinning rides.
So-
It's fun.
That is Luigi's Rolican Roadsters.
So is there a positive note that you want to leave that like is the ultimate selling point?
Well, there was something I did want to mention, that another selling point to it is that not only do you get to enjoy this during the regular season, but it doesn't just have one holiday overlay, but two. It's got a Halloween one called the Luigi's Honkin' Halloween, and then the Christmas time it becomes Luigi's Joy to the Whirl, where you dance to Halloween and Christmas music as well. So it's an attraction that can progressively change over time. So you can add a new song, you can change the choreography. It's something, again, it's enjoyable to ride, to enjoy the motions, the unpredictability of your car moving around, as well as sitting back and enjoying the show in front of you as you're waiting to enter onto the attraction.
Okay. I think that's a good argument right
Yeah.
there. Compelling. All right, so I am now in charge of defending Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the rescue, which I didn't even know that was the name.
Yep.
I just called the Monsters Inc. ride. You
Monsters
just
Inc.
cut it
ride.
off. Monsters
That's
Inc.
how
ride.
most people do, yeah.
So for those that don't know where it's at, it is located in the Hollywood land.
The deepest, darkest corner of the park.
Which I didn't even know that
Yes.
was the name of the land was called Hollywood Land. I just was like, oh, we're in the Tower of Terror area, Sunset Boulevard, Santa Monica, that kind of, so you're kind of wondering, like, what's Mike and Sully have to do to the rescue with Hollywood Land? And it has nothing. It has nothing to do with it, and that's because the original ride, which was called Superstar Limo.
Sounds exciting. It must have been a fascinating attraction.
Oh, so fascinating that it shut down 11 months after it opened. 11 months. That's so sad.
It is
I wonder
really
what is
sad.
the shortest
Attraction?
attraction.
This has got to be pretty close to
It's
it.
gotta be.
It didn't even
after
make
it.
a year.
didn't
It opened in
watch.
February and it shut down in January. And so it remained there. It was, so I'll describe, it was a sad ride trying to represent, it wasn't trying to be sad, but it was sad. Trying to represent life of being a Hollywood star as you travel through a creepy small world, like with celebrities and cheap cutouts
Some
depictions of
C-list-
Los Angeles.
C-list celebrities.
Yes, we had Cindy Crawford and Drew Carey and Tim Allen and Whoopi Goldberg.
Jackie Chan was in it.
Jackie Chan is in there, and
Yeah.
you know what? They're still in there. So I'm going to explain that too. So the ride shuts down, and for a while, I mean 5 years, this attraction laid empty.
We never even got to ride this, right?
No.
Then we
never
did it.
did.
I didn't
It
even
was-
know it existed. I just thought, oh, they just
Yeah,
put this
because
new ride
We
here.
went to California Adventure a year after it opened.
Was that what it was? I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Well, we missed it. But you know what? You didn't miss it. Because the truth is, Disney did a frugal job of covering it up. It's pretty much, they overlaid it with Monsters, Inc., which I think they did a really good job.
They did a decent job for what they did. It's not until you watch Superstar Limo that you go, oh, this is literally just a paint job.
This is yes. And what I remember, they're trying to sell it, and they had members of the Drew Carey show on there, and they were just on there going, Oh, like even actors couldn't even sell how good this ride, or trying to sell it as a good a ride, because it was just so bad. Everyone's just
The
like,
Superstar ride, yeah.
"Oh." So yeah, so Disney had a trouble trying to come up what to do with this. You have this Hollywood theme, and you had a Hollywood ride that stunk, and I don't know why they picked this. I never got into why they chose this topic and this land, but it's there. And so we have this attraction. I know I'm not doing a very good job defending it, but I think it was so bad that they had to do something. And I think they did a decent job putting an attraction there. Because this attraction has become an anchor for this North Hollywood area.
It's a ghost town. What's there now?
They have.
You have 6 eating restaurants. So you have now Fantasmic, not Fantasmic.
Mickey's Filler Magic.
Mickey's Filler Magic, which,
where used to be the Muppet Show, Muppet 3D,
or the Frozen show.
Was
yes,
it Frozen?
They had a
Frozen
Frozen.
sing-along. Frozen sing-along.
And so they had the theater there, but it was the only attraction there. And you did have Hollywood Tower Terror, which was further down the road, so I call that like South Hollywood. And this is North Hollywood. That's so sad. You only had 2 rides
In the land.
in the land.
And there's a lot of space there.
A lot of space.
The animation building takes up a big chunk of
It is. And it's an attraction, but I mean rides.
Correct, yeah.
So you want to ride a ride. And so I think it is a good anchor there, and I think that's what's kept it there as long as it has been.
Because there's nothing else
There's
there?
nothing really there, and you have like 6 different eateries. Like there are some different choices to eat, and there's places to sit down and eat. And so you eat your lunch, or you have a show, and you're like, what do we do? Well, I guess we'll ride a ride. And it's a ride that everyone can ride. And because of the limo, Superstar limo, and just the paint job, they took that limo and they painted it to look like a taxi. Because the ride takes you in as if you are at the, let me say this, you're at the Metropolis or Monstropolis MTA Transit Authority, and you're greeted into the Monstropolis, and you get into a taxi, kind of like Roger Rabbit. I always felt like it was like that. But they basically painted over the limos, and so you can fit 6 people in this thing, and they have a little video, and they kind of immerse you into the story of Mike and Sully trying to rescue Boo. And so you go through the attraction.
So you're part of the movie.
You pretty are. You're immersed into it, and so the queue does a good job. They have videos to entertain you, and they have like theme prop vending machines where they got the drooler cooler and the blort and the polyvinyl chloride or the raccoon bars. Just silly things to look at. As you go through the queues, this kind of gets you ready for the ride, and I think it does a good job depicting the movie scenes. My favorite scene of the whole ride is the door scene. When you're seeing all the doors, and
They did a good job of that room for sure.
Yes.
That room, I feel, is the crown jewel of the ride. I think
I
it's the
agree.
best room,
It's definitely the highlight.
and it's something to ride where everybody, you have a family of 6, you can all ride together. Usually, you're breaking up, and who's riding with who? This one you can jump in. So I think that is a selling point for it. Another selling point is they recycled the ride that was there before. So those celebrities that you see on the ride, they're all covered up in the...
I would encourage anyone, I know there's YouTube videos where they actually show you a side-by-side comparison of the Monsters, Inc. ride as well as the Superstar limo. So you can actually see a lot of the CDA agents that you see are all these celebrities.
Yes, they're all covered. So the CDA is the child detection agents. Those are the people in the yellow, uniforms, decontamination kind of suits. And so the celebrities are just covered up in those.
Wait, so the celebrities turned into monsters?
Yes, how does this fit into the whole Pixar theory? And so that's, that's how they reused it. If you look at the overlay, they took the city and they just we put a bunch of doors and we'll just cover it up. Like I said, it is an overlay with Monsters, Inc. on top of the Superstar limo.
Is it an improvement? Yes,
it
is an improvement.
It is
from
an
what was there before.
improvement. I'll leave this. This really has nothing to do with defending it. I just wanted to get this information out. These are Easter eggs on the ride. So as you're going through and you're in the shower area, on one of the towel racks, you'll see a Hollywood Tower of Terror towel on there. So keep an eye out on there. And then in the Harry Hassan's sushi restaurant, behind the chef, you'll see like a Nemo clown fish behind him. Whether that has to do with Nemo or just it's good sushi, I don't know. So I'm just throwing that out there. It's not really a selling point. It's more of like, hey, not often am I going to share Easter eggs about Monsters,
What?
Inc.
We're not going to have like a 10-part series on the history of Monsters, Inc.?
No.
Mike and Sully to the rescue?
I don't think so.
Oh, man, I was looking forward to that episode.
Yeah. So in conclusion, I think this is a solid themed dark ride that represents the movie correctly, and it has most fun scenes depicted in there. It's the only ride in Hollywood land that is appropriate. It is the only ride in Hollywood that's in an appropriate area, but I think it's appropriate to have an attraction there, and so it gets the job done. And I think you would have a hole if you didn't have it there, because with Tower of Terror transferring into the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and that's going to get absorbed into Avengers Campus area. You have this Hollywood-themed area with no ride.
Oh, without a doubt. Once Avengers Campus has opened, all eyes are going to be on that whole Hollywood area.
Yes.
Like, what are you going to do with it?
There's absolutely nothing worth keeping.
There's the hot dog place, man. I love getting
The hot dog place,
The
the
hot
award
dog?
the award wieners. Yes,
Yes.
that's a great restaurant.
That's good.
They got some good hot dogs there.
They have some good dance parties there on
But
Friday
you know
night.
what? They just recently, in the past year, added fast passes to the Monster Inc. ride.
Yeah, that honestly, in my opinion, that's a mark against it because it makes me never want to ride that ride because that line is miserable to sit in. It's long.
It used to be bad, but I think it works. I've never had an issue with it recently. And I don't know if it's because it's lost popularity or they've become more efficient.
As soon as I heard they announced fast passes for it, and I know fast passes slow the line down
It
so
did.
much.
When I went in February before the park closed, we were gonna ride the attraction. I was like, oh, let's just ride it. It was 45 minutes long, and I go, nope, not worth it.
Yeah, it's like,
41
do I get a
minutes.
fast pass for Monsters Inc. or for Guardians of the Galaxy? I think I'm going to go for Guardians, or I'm going to go for Soarin', there's so many better options for fast
Yeah.
passes. And when they announced that, I was just all like, you just killed the attraction, I felt.
It is. It's not the best attraction. I ranked it 8th best attraction in the park, which puts it in the middle. It's better than what I believe is the Ferris wheel. Ooh,
the icon of California.
Icon doesn't mean it's a good ride. Just saying, you got the Whirlwind, the Jessie Critter Carousel, the Goofy Sky Train, or the training, Silly Symphony Swing. I think it's better than those. So it's in the middle. It's not great, but it's not like...
So you're very anti-Paradise, or I guess Pixar Pier, it sounds like.
Yeah, I got the basic. I like Toy Story, Mania,
and the Credit Coaster.
And the Credit Coaster. That's pretty much. And I haven't tried the Inside Out one, but I'm just saying it doesn't look anything special.
It's the same ride that was in Bugs Land before.
Yeah.
So
So.
they just moved it over.
Yeah.
And so that concludes my defense of Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the rescue. I wanted to say the whole name one more time. Such a mouthful. All right, Jackie, we're going to start off with you. Which attraction do you feel needs to go?
Definitely Monster Inc.
Oh, I figure I had a chance going last.
It's just, there's a lot of space there, and it doesn't pertain to any type of...
Is there anything
thing.
against the ride that's bad, or do you just feel the outside space needs to be completely it's just a victim of update of the neighborhood.
It's just, for me, it's a boring attraction. When I ride it, it is a dark ride, which it's hard to be entertained. There's no thrill with dark rides usually.
Cool, you got neon lights and cool, like, glow-in-the-dark paint when you're going through the... No? Okay.
But I think dark rides are kind of a dying art form of attractions.
Ooh.
Well, unless you've ridden Rise of the Resistance, I would disagree with you.
Well, and that's a new form of technology.
Oh, is that's Dark Ride 2.0? Oh, okay.
Like Dark Ride 3.0.
Yeah.
It's intense.
But yeah, I just think, like you said before, it's a repair of what it used to be.
Band-Aid.
It was a Band-Aid, and
It's a good Band-Aid.
it is a
All
good
things
Band-Aid.
considered, I will say, it's a decent Band-Aid.
It's not the worst Band-Aid that they've done. In
So
Disney.
it's not like a brown Band-Aid, but it's like one with Mickey Mouse,
Oh,
and the
yeah,
doctor's like, "Oh, here you go. You feel special." And you get the
It's-
lollipop afterwards.
It's not Rockin' Space Mountain with the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay,
Yes.
that was
Yeah,
it's a bad overlay.
Or the Halloween overlay on Space Mountain.
Yeah,
A lot of
screaming.
people like that.
Really?
screaming.
A lot of people like the
random screaming
the
monster.
Haunted Mountain. Yeah.
All right, Peter, what is your vote?
My vote is Monsters Inc.
Can you at least say the full name?
Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the rescue. And I'll tell you why. So I'll go through why I think it's a better...
Please do.
So, the one thing the Ferris wheel has is its incorporation with the nighttime show.
Yes.
It adds to the ambiance of the whole look of Pixar Pier. So it makes, as Jackie pointed out, it makes it look nice. It looks like it fits. Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the rescue. Does not at all. You walk in, you're in Hollywood land, and you see this cardboard wall of doors, and you're like, what is this thing? Like, that's what the first impression
Curiosity,
people get.
right? It just draws you in.
What is this thing? I've never known anyone, though the one thing I would say, like, that you didn't bring up, which I'm surprised you didn't bring up, it has an animatronic. Roz at the very end.
Oh, Roz is at the
It
very
has
end.
an animatronic that does,
Interact.
at times,
Yes.
interact with the guests. Like, it'll point out individuals in your vehicle.
It's like when E.T. would like say your name.
Yes.
Except if it's
Correct.
my name, it's like blah, 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 blah.
So I'm surprised. Like, that was one thing I did like. It had that like
Personal touch
at the end. The thing that Rolican Roadsters and the Pal Around, or is that what it's called? Pal Around, yes.
The Ferris wheel.
The Ferris wheel it does have that like spontaneity to it. Where like you can walk by and go, let's check that out. Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the rescue. Does not have that at all. It's this, and then you get into the queue. The queue, although themed, doesn't look very good.
It's a bus station.
And then you get into the vehicle, and like the first like 30 seconds is you in a dark tunnel with nothing but a TV screen to look at.
Yeah.
And so like it just falls flat. And as I said before, when they announced Fast Pass 4, which, you know, when the park reopens here coming up, they're not going to have Fast Pass from my understanding right from the get-go. So maybe it won't come back, and maybe that'll be a point in its favor. But at the time they announced it, it goes, well, that's going to make me never want to wait in line for that attraction ever. Unless I have my little kids with me and I have to go on a ride with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only ride.
That's the
after your
only
hot dog.
ride that I will be able.
It is a family-friendly ride, but yeah.
And that's a point for it. But it just misses. It's missing that like draw, and there's nothing in that area of the park. I mean, I love I love the animation building. It's one of the most beautiful
It's
lobbies.
one of my favorite spots to go in the park.
It's the most beautiful lobby you'll ever enter is the animation building.
And the air conditioning.
Oh, it's
the
amazing.
AC is the best.
But everything else in that whole section of the park is utter garbage. And Monsters Inc. does not help.
It's dinosaur. That whole area is dinosaur bones.
It is. Like you walk back. Like most of the people don't even know there's anything back there. That's how tucked in the corner this attraction is. That most people don't even know this attraction even
There's
exists.
like a
We stick the
bathroom over
monsters.
there.
Yeah. We stick the monsters in the corner.
Well, the thing is, that's where they had that area is where they've had all the Marvel meet and greets, and now that they're opening Marvel Campus, there's going to be no excuse for people to go back there anymore.
Yeah, they would stick like the Fab Five back there too.
Like they have, I think the Chase
They
meet
have-
and greet
They
back
have
there.
all the school bands and like dance programs dance on the
Yeah,
stage
their
back
stage is
there.
there.
So
Tucked
it
in
just
the corner.
it just lacks that draw, and that's why I say it's the easiest one for me to go. "Mwah, that could go.
Okay. Well,
Jason,
I-
tell us.
I will. I agree with you guys on all your points. I feel like my time doing this homework was wasted again. I feel like there's somebody against me. No, this ride is not very good at all. It is a placeholder ride that's just been forgotten, or they just don't know what to do with it.
I think
So-
I think it's just there until they decide to retheme the whole area.
Yeah,
Just
I
needs
think that's
something
what it
there,
is.
and it's unfortunately has stayed there as long as, or fortunately for itself, unfortunately for guests, they've not gotten a better themed experience there since the day it opened. And so I agree, it's time to sweep and get rid of it. I'm 0-2 for this. I hate this ride, and I think that's why we each selected each other's ride. And
Who did I give you this one?
you gave me this one.
I gave you this one.
Or
No, I
Jackie
gave
did.
it
Jackie
to
did,
him.
and I think
Oh, okay.
Jackie knows I hate this ride, or I just don't care for
I
it.
think we all hate it.
Yeah, I just remember.
It's just nothing special. Now, to be fair, I don't enjoy the Ferris wheel as well.
Right.
I'm not gonna ride that ride. It just looks nice, and I like it for the aesthetics and the motion of it, and its motion with
And we're
the land.
and we're trying to get rid of things. And
Yes.
I think this is the easiest one to get rid of.
Absolutely.
It's not themed right. It's just there. So okay, we're in consensus.
Monsters
My
Inc.
Monsters Inc. My Consoli to the rescue.
It's gotta go.
It's gotta go. All right. So thank you for listening to us in this wonderful rendition of Defend Your Attraction Volume 2.
Volume 2.
And we'll do more because I like this. This is
Yes.
fun.
If you want to give us a theme as to another set of attractions that you want us to defend, let us know.
for sure.
Give us a challenge. Give us something hard for us to
Challenge
defend.
accepted.
We'll give it to Jathan.
Yeah, he's got a good track record. With that being said, please contact us with this information on our social medias, which are
Instagram, DM us. You can email us, matterhornyodlers@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook page. Give us a follow. We're trying to pump up our followings. So share it with your family, friends, anybody who might be interested in Disney content. We want to grow our Yodelers community.
oh yeah, I like that. More Yodelers. With that being said, auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember, before your bobsled comes to a complete stop, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember,
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.